So conversion and tracking are the marketing foundation. We want to make sure that we're utilizing these tactics so we make the most of our investment. And here I've got some kind of low-hanging fruit as far as conversion optimization. So first step, we want to have a strong call to action above the fold on our website, and potentially a sticky header with a phone number. So what that means is, if I go to this landing page here, above the fold just means what loads without me having to scroll down. So what do I see as soon as the page loads, whether that's on desktop or mobile? And here I've got what is clearly a button. Without reading any text, I already know visually what action I'm supposed to take, because we're using some contrast here with color, and it's pretty clear. This is if I want to move forward, this is what I need to do. I also have a header up here with a phone number. So if it's important that people call you or even submit a form, you can put buttons up here. Then what you can do is put that information in the header of your website and then add some code to make it what's called a sticky header. And what that means is that as I scroll down the page, that header stays with me at every step. So I don't actually have to go and find that phone number or wherever that button is to book an appointment. It's just with me at every step of the way. And this may seem pretty straightforward, but you'd really be surprised when I audit websites just how often I'll see, lead gen company, they want to drive phone calls, and the phone number is only present on the contact page. Or it'll be on every page, but it'll be way at the bottom in the footer. And if we're sending people to our website, especially if we're investing in ads, we want to make sure that what we're doing is reducing as much friction for people as possible on our website. We want them to do as little work as possible. We don't want them to have to try and fight to find whatever the information is that they're looking for. It should be front and center. And certainly as far as making a purchase or contacting us or whatever action that we want them to take is concerned, we need to make it as easy and obvious as possible for people. All right, next one is using customer-focused copy versus company-focused. So what I mean by that is, when somebody visits the website, you probably the first thing that they see should not be, our business was founded in this year, and here's a little bit about the owners and all of that. It's just focused on the company, whereas someone who doesn't know you, all they're trying to find out right now is if you can help them solve whatever problem they have. They're not really interested in the backstory and the company information. That can be on the about page, but it's definitely not something we'd want to lead with. Probably not on the home page, and certainly not for any kind of page that we're sending paid traffic to. We also want to present a unique selling proposition. So why should people choose to do business with you versus every other option available? What makes you special versus competitors? We also want to make sure that we have separate pages for different products or services. So sometimes, especially if this is a new website, I've seen a kind of a very long one-page website where they'll just have everything that they do, all of their service information, all of it's on one page that scrolls. It's a very long scroll, and they might have anchor links set up that will automatically scroll people down to whatever section of that page is that's relevant to what they clicked on. But in terms of ranking, it's just not possible for Google to rank a one-page website for all of those different things. We would need separate pages to do that. So definitely want to have, create separate pages for different products or services that we offer. Adding a lead magnet as well to capture contact information. So despite everything that we do in terms of improving our conversion rate on the website, ultimately it's only ever going to get so high. So whether that's 2% or 4% or 10%. I mean, there is a limit ultimately to how, the rate at which we can convert people on our website. And so the next question is, if someone's not ready, maybe they're just looking for information, they're just kind of curious, they don't really know who you are. And certainly depending on the industry, where maybe multiple touch points are required for someone to take action, it's helpful to have their contact information so that we as the business can reach out to them and engage with them. The alternative is that we have to hope that they turn to Google and search for us again and come back to our site. Or if we're investing in ads, we have to pay money again to get them back to the website. And if we have their contact information, then we can sidestep all of that. So one helpful tactic is to have some kind of a lead magnet on the website, which is maybe a free guide, some kind of offer that's helpful and genuinely useful to people who visit the site, that you trade in exchange for their email. And for us, we actually do this on our website. So on mainstreetroi.com, we have, by default, it's the SEO checklist that we will send people in exchange for an email. And then we add them to our newsletter and engage with them. And this really is helpful, because I can't tell you how many times I've had conversations with people who say, I haven't reached out yet. I've been on your newsletter for like a year. I've been getting your emails, and things haven't really improved in that year. And I think I'm finally ready to move forward. And so in that sense, we've, for the past year, communicated our authority. We've sent them helpful information. Maybe they haven't opened every email. They've probably opened very few, but at least it helps to stay top of mind, position ourselves as authorities in the space, and re-engage with people rather than having to pay to get them back to our website. Another benefit of having people's contact information, as far as advertising goes, is that that's first-party data that we own. So if we have a list that's big enough, we can upload that list to different ad platforms and set up what are called remarketing campaigns. So basically, sending ads to people who have already been to our website, they're somewhat familiar with what we do, and we're trying to re-engage specifically with those people. So we have their information now, and we can upload that list. And then lastly, following up with leads via autoresponders. So just like an email autoresponder that has different sequences, newsletters, which I just spoke about, and promos.